episode, we're going to be talking about photosynthesis. It's a really long word. Try and say it with us. Photosynthesis. So here's a fun fact about photosynthesis. So photo, if you didn't know, means light in Greek. From Greek to English, it means light. So you can think camera, because camera, when it goes on, it brings light, right? So you can understand that like it. And now, synthesis is the Roman word for put together. Put together. So together they make in English is light put together. Because plants use the sun to put together their food to eat. So that's what it actually means. Photosynthesis is the process when plants take water, nutrients from the soil, take the sunlight, water, and carbon dioxide, and join them together to make their food.
This is how I like to put it. So the plant is cooking the food. It asks the sun to get a little of sunlight, asks carbon dioxide to give a little of it, and also a little bit of H2O from the soil, and then puts it into the pot and stir.
That's what it means. It's just the plant putting things together to make its food.
And what its food end up to be is glucose and oxygen. The oxygen meant for us and the glucose meant for the plants.
Glucose is also a type of sugar. Finished. So that's glucose and sugar. So you won't think that glucose and that glucose is the same thing as sugar. No, it's a type of sugar.
Okay, too poor for the plants. They are at the beginning of the food chain, meaning everything that comes at the back of it. It is being eaten by another thing, and that thing being eaten by another thing.
Example of a food chain is like a caterpillar is eating a leaf from a flower, and then suddenly a big insect collects it and eats it, and then that insects get eaten by bigger insects until the insects are big enough to be eaten by a bigger predator,
like a rabbit. And then the rabbit is being eaten by a lion, and then the lion is going to be eaten by us. And we are at the top of the food chain, for good for us and bad for plants.
So, less about the food chain and more about photosynthesis. So, first step in photosynthesis, collect sunlight.
It's like the sun is throwing light at the plant and saying, here's a little bit of my sunlight, you asked for it, so here you are.
In this diagram, you can see the sun giving light to these flowers and the trees and the bushes. So that's how it gets the sunlight. After putting the sunlight into its pot, the next thing is water and nutrients. So they take it from the soil,
and it goes up inside the stem, and that's the pot. And then the third thing it needs is carbon dioxide from outside. So it takes that inside its stem and mixes the whole thing. Eats it, gets glucose and oxygen, lets the oxygen away and takes the glucose in. Did you know that plants use that glucose for a long period of time? Due to that, they store some inside their roots for next time.
It's the same way like you eat your favorite lasagna and to keep it for tomorrow or next tomorrow, you keep it in your fridge. It's the same thing that they are doing.
Just that they are using the roots, not your fridge.
So, it's this. They are just storing food. That food turns from glucose to starch, stored starch. And when the plant is picked, that starch becomes what we need. The energy we collect from that plant. Actually, it's called ATP. ATP. That's the energy we collect from plants. ATP.
So first the plant cooks the food, then it sheds some oxygen with us, then we betray it and eat it, and we get all the minerals it had. So that's a plant. That's how a plant lives to make food. Ends up being betrayed by one human.
So, let's give an example of one of these things. So first, the leaves open up so that they can collect some sunlight with stomata. If you didn't know, stomata is like tiny holes. It's like the pore holes that bring sweat from your body, but
much smaller.
Yeah.
And they take in oxygen.
They take in carbon dioxide
and remove
oxygen. And
The
we
oxygen-
collect oxygen and give them carbon dioxide. So we are both giving each other help
So we're helping each other.
by just breathing.
And please stop cutting down trees.
That's why we're having air pollution.
And so let's go and fly back to topic.
So when it collects the sunlight, the sunlight helps it to connect one thing. Then it takes the water, but the water must be in one stage. It will be cut into its components. And you know the components of water.
2 hydrogens, 1 oxygen. Water.
Yes, but it will be broken down into the 2 hydrogens and the 1 oxygen by the sunlight. Without the sunlight, it will remain its liquid form and the plant won't be able to make food out of it. So bad. But since the light is there, it breaks it down into its chemical products. What makes it? Then it takes the next thing is carbon dioxide given by us humans or animals that pass by the plant. After collecting those, it makes the food that it needs. If it gets extra food, like you when you made too much of cake for your birthday party, you keep it in the fridge. The same way that they store it, that becomes
Starch. Stored starch.
So after storing that starch, when we start eating the plant, we get ATP,
As we can recall.
ATP energy that we use to do daily things. So now that's the plant. That's how the plant creates its food. But don't mistake photosynthesis for the life cycle of a plant. No. They are 2 different things. This is how they make food, and life cycle is how the changes in its life. Understand? So don't make that mistake again. So next, why are plants green? That's simple. So inside the plant there is chloroplast. spearheaded about this in school. And chlorophyll is good at absorbing many types of wavelengths, mostly red and blue. But when it comes to green, it doesn't absorb that much. It reflects. Now the question is, how does it make the plant green? When it reflects the light, when something reflects the light, it becomes that light to our eyes. That's why it looks green. And most plants are green. But there are many other type of pigment like these that make flowers so colorful like how they are. But chlorophyll is the one that makes plants green. So there's flowering plants and non-flowering plants. The flowering plants are the ones that look like flowers, and the ones that aren't look like grass, or they only produce food. So understand that. Don't think all flowers are flowering plants. So don't think that. So after we have talked about these beautiful flowers, next is that flowers are beautiful, yes, but the reason why is because of pollination. They want to be pollinated. They are not beautiful because they want you to see that they are beautiful. No, it's to attract the bees.
Pollinators that pollinate the plant and then take some of it and then they put it on another plant, and then that plant, a baby plant starts growing, and then that baby plant, when it grows up, it will do the same process, and the process goes over again. So the beautiful vivid colors are just to attract some pollinators.
So that's the reason why they're so colorful.
So we have come to the end of this video. Stay home, stay safe, have fun, watch more of our videos to be very smart, and please subscribe and ring the notification bell to watch more of our awesome videos.
Bye guys, and have a happy day.